Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Two-Man Game, the last episode before the season begins. As this is being uploaded, it is Tuesday, October 22nd. NBA opening night is here. We've got Celtics, Knicks. We have Lakers, Timberwolves. It's going to be a great year, a lot of content from us. And so to kick it off, we're dropping our combined predictions. I dropped mine over on my channel, but today we got to work together because for the standings, we're going through all of them. We have to agree on what the standings are going to be. Then we'll give our individual awards and our predictions for who is in the Eastern Conference, Western Conference Finals, and who wins the NBA Finals and the Finals MVP along the way. But before we get into all that, I got to throw it over to my co-host, Ryan. We'll run the two-man game as always. Ryan, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, dude. You and I were doing pretty good at consistently uploading the NBA content. And then our favorite baseball team has been going on a crazy run, the Yankees.
They have been.
And so a lot of the nights we would typically be recording, the Yankees have been playing playoff baseball. Connor and I are both big Yankees fans. I'm wearing my Aaron Judge shirt. So we're both really excited about that. So that's kind of been our big issue because we just haven't had the opportunity to record together. But here we are. NBA season starts. You know, Sixers playing Wednesday. When's the Thunder's first game?
Thunder's first game is on Thursday. They play the Nuggets. Yep, Thursday.
Dang, not good enough to play the first 2 days. Dang.
Not good enough for Christmas Day either, apparently.
I mean, the Thunder just stay getting hoed, but, you know, it is what's new, right?
They hate the small markets.
It's weird because the Yankees have not been super relevant going this far into the season for a while. Like, they've had a couple, you know, LCS runs where they just really haven't, like, actually put together something. So usually by now, I'm in full basketball mode. So I've definitely been behind. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm going to be very casual here. I've definitely been behind on, like, all the news and stuff. But, you know.
But you caught up today. He caught up.
I did
a little bit before the podcast.
So I learned that Isaiah Hartenstein broke his hand. I had not a clue.
He had no idea about the turmoil I've been going through.
So I texted Connor my condolences days after it happened.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like you found out someone's like family member passed away and you don't text him for like a week until after, except it's your literal brother.
Definitely on Internet Explorer time over here, but we're ready, man. I'm ready to predict some hoops. And we had fun with this last year. I remember Connor and I were arguing over like the 14 seed last year. We
spent a lot of time on like the 14 and 15 seed in the Western
Conference. That was really funny. So I'm excited to do this again. And there's a lot of news that has come out in the last couple of days. So I think if we had recorded this 2 weeks ago, I think we would have had
the standings would have looked different. So I'm glad we waited up until like nearly the buzzer. Yeah. But yeah, let's go ahead and kick it off. We're going to do standings first, then awards, then playoff predictions. You know, we'll throw out some takes, I'm sure, left and right here as well, just on other stuff. Do you want to start East or West?
Let's do the East. I think it's a little easier.
Yeah, let's do the East first. Want to start at the bottom or the top? I mean,
I feel like from the bottom.
Okay, I feel like we usually go back and forth sometimes too if we kind of get stuck on something as I slid up. Oh yeah, by the way, the website if you need it, it's enjoypredictions.com. Shout out to our guy Kenny.
We used this last year too. It makes it really cool.
Yeah, which it's unfortunate because I was going to use it for my season prediction video recently that I dropped a few days ago on Wednesday, and the site was down. Like I think they needed to renew like their license over enjoypredictions.com, like the domain. And so it was down for me. And then today it's back up. So I should have let
you just needed my good vibes. That's all you needed.
Yeah, I need your vibes. Okay. So the 15th seed in the Eastern Conference, it's between Brooklyn and Washington. It feels like those are the two worst teams in the East.
I'm going Brooklyn.
I think I've reached the point where I'm Washington. I'm team Washington.
All right. So I'm team Brooklyn because I feel like the Wizards have the best player. And Kuzma.
Yeah, but the best player is Kyle Kuzma.
All right, and then who's it for the Nets? Cam Thomas? Empty stat legend?
Cam Thomas, Cam Johnson. Don't say that. I mean, they have Cam Johnson, Nick Claxton. Like, there are names. Though, I don't know. Both these teams are going to be terrible. I don't really feel strongly. If you want to go Brooklyn, we can go Brooklyn.
I just think the Nets offense is going to be absolutely nasty. Like, I think there's going to be days where they score 80 points and Cam Thomas is 40 of them. I genuinely think.
It's going to be but like the Wizards offense is going to be much better. Like they lost Tyus Jones. They have no real playmaker now. Poole was awful last year. I guess they have Valanciunas now.
Jordan Poole has more hoop potential than anyone on the Nets.
Except anyone on the Nets? I was going to say, don't put Cam Thomas into that. Okay. I mean, I'm fine to go Brooklyn, like 15.
I mean, I can definitely agree they're 15, 14. I just think here's another thing that I think about the Nets too, and I think we talked about this before, but Brooklyn wants to lose very badly. I think the Wizards are going to start. They might trade Kuzma, but other than Kuzma and maybe Valanciunas once he's able to get traded, because I know there's a deadline, right, since he got signed.
Yeah, December 15th should be the
deadline. I think other than the two of them, I don't think they're going to really change the roster too much. The Nets, I could see them trading literally everybody. Like
that's fair. I just also feel like with the Wizards, it's like I mean, Alex Sarr, I think, is interesting, but offensively, I think he's going to be bad. Defensively, he'll be interesting. We both like Bilal Coulibaly. They do have Corey Kispert, who also got extended today. So shout out to Kispert for that. I mean, I think Bub's going to be fun, Bub Carrington, but I'm not expecting a lot of effectiveness. The Wizards, mainly, they looked awful in preseason. Like, they looked horrific out there. They had a game against the Nets and they got blown off the floor. Now, preseason doesn't really mean much of anything, but I was like firmly in the Brooklyn is going to be the worst team camp. And then I watched the Wizards on the court and I'm like, oh, this is going to be ugly this season. So, yeah, I think you could go either way. I'm cool with Brooklyn at 15.
I think Brooklyn might start out the better team, but I really think that I don't think Cam Johnson, I don't think Dorian Finney-Smith, hell, Ben Simmons is on the last year of his deal. If he somehow remembers how to play basketball and some team's trying to salary dump, I don't think it's out of the question he gets traded too.
Yeah, I guess that's a fair point. And I do think the Nets will do. My original reasoning for having the Nets 15 for a while was that, and here we are again discussing the Wizards and Nets for multiple minutes.
Yeah.
My original reasoning was that they have their pick back now, don't have a lot of their picks in the future, so they want to be as bad as possible. So maybe we see that. Okay, I'm cool with this.
I agree. Just so Nets fans don't hate me, I think the Nets on paper are better than the Wizards. But I still think they're going to finish worse because of that. That's my prediction.
That's fair. I mean, it's in their best interest to lose as many games as physically possible. Yeah. So, okay, next up at the 13 spot. This is where in my video I had the Pistons. I believe I had them here, either them or the Bulls. I can't remember. I think it was the Pistons here.
All right, so I think, can we agree that the next three teams are Charlotte, Chicago, and Pistons in some order?
Well, I think it's Pistons, Bulls. I think Raptors and Hornets is interesting at this 10 and 11 spot, but I think the next two are the Pistons and the Bulls.
Pistons and the Bulls.
I have the Bulls higher because...
Are you being too high on the Hornets?
I might be too high on the Hornets.
I mean, isn't the only difference in their team is they have the Thunder role players for the whole year, and then
Brandon Miller year 2, LaMelo hopefully actually playing basketball. Yeah. Mark Williams, we'll have to see how his health looks, but hopefully he's back. They do have Josh Green now. They've got Grant Williams for a full season. Trey Mans look great in preseason. They're just a team that I'm kind of buying into a little bit. Also, the Raptors, I feel like on paper, I maybe like the Raptors roster a little bit more. I've gone back and forth with two of them as my 10 seed. Do you agree with me that the Hawks are 9?
Actually, I'm a Hawks hater. I forgot about this. I like the Raptors more than the Hawks.
Okay, let's start at 12 and 13. Who do you think is going to be 13? I think it's going to be the Pistons. Reminder, Ryan, they have Tobias Harris now, your favorite player.
Here's the thing. They do. But it's kind of like where I talked about this in one of our previous videos. I think the Spurs are going to be a lot better because they actually have NBA players now. Like they were just running all young guns, and they're like, all right, now we'll throw in Chris Paul, we'll throw in Harrison Barnes. Like they're not.
I do think Monty Williams was kind of a double agent. I will say that, but it's just like with the Bulls, they still have Zach LaVine. Lonzo looked great when he played in preseason. Like they still got some decently talented.
Are we sure we shouldn't name this the preseason overreaction video? You're saying a dude that hasn't played basketball in 3 years is going to carry the Bulls? I'm
not saying he's going to carry them, but I do think he helps.
No, he definitely does.
The Bulls, I think it was their GM, Arturas Karnisovas, who said, oh, we might be hosting a playoff series. Like, he was talking about expectations. So it seems that I think they want to
always had false promises, though, man. Come on.
I think that, the thing is, I think they want to be more competitive. Not that the Pistons don't, but I just think the talent is more there with the Bulls, and Zach LaVine wants to play better, at least to get his value up to get traded, if anything. So, yeah, I think the Bulls end up as 12. Yeah. But I could also see a world where towards the end of the season, the Bulls are playing bad like we all expect them to, and they just are like, we'll just tank. Like, we'll just be a bottom of the barrel team to end off. Yeah. So
the thing that scares me with the Bulls, too, is I feel like DeMar DeRozan really carried them late game, and I feel like Zach LaVine always does not do well as a closer. I feel like they always wanted DeMar as the closer.
Yeah.
And so I feel like Zach LaVine in the clutch is just not ideal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool to buy in on the Pistons. I like the Pistons. I'll put them.
I just think they can't be this ass for this long.
They can be. They have been bad for 8 years. They can find more ways.
You and I both, I think, called the Magic being better last year, didn't we? Didn't we both have the Magic as at least top 10?
I think we had them as 10 or 11.
I don't think we had them. I think we had them in the playoffs. I don't think we had them as high as they ended up.
They might have been 11. It was close.
I'm not. I'm still. We don't have to do this, but I'm just throwing out this. The Hawks are going to finish 13th.
I think the Hawks have a better chance of finishing 8th than 13th.
I'm going to just throw it out here, so when it happens, I can say I am very low on the Hawks. I think they're going to be trash.
I feel
They
like
were trash last year and they got rid of their second best player. So
Jalen Johnson was their second best player and still is their second best player.
Mm.
In relation to
so Trae Young's their third best player. Is that what you're saying?
With the system and what they need, I think Jalen Johnson now as a 2 option will be more effective for that team. I'm not saying straight up that Jalen Johnson is a better player than DeJounte Murray. Yeah. I'm saying in what they have going on there, I like the idea more of Jalen Johnson being there as that second guy next to Trae. I think the defense will be better with Dyson Daniels there now and Zachary
You have way too much stock in Dyson Daniels' defense.
He's really good defensively. The offense is bad. It's bad. Don't get me wrong.
He don't move me.
Okay, Ryan's a hawk. Ryan picks a few teams every year to just be a hater of.
I'm 11. Right though. I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay, well, so we have now 9, 10, 11. We need to talk about this.
All right.
Or do you want to go back up to the top and do a little bit of that and then come back down? Okay.
My order would be Raptors
at
Hawks,
9.
Hornets. Raptors, Hawks, Hornets. I like the combination of Quickly and RJ and Scotty. I think that's a fun trio. I think that's the most talent out of a trio of players than any of these other teams.
Is that a more talented trio than Trae Young, Jalen Johnson, and like
Clint Capella?
Yeah, I mean, you know me, I'm not a big Clint Capella fan at this point in 2024. I don't know, man. The Raptors also, Jakob Poeltl was asked at Media Day about like what their goals are this season, and he admitted he's like, we're gonna suck. He's like, we're gonna be bad. So
I don't think they're gonna be that bad though.
I think they'll be a play-in team or right here on the cusp. For me, it's been Hawks at 9. I'm going to just put these 3 teams here, and then we can reorder them. This is what I've had. Hawks at 9. I've had the Hornets and Raptors. In my official season prediction video, I do think I had the Raptors at 10, and then the Hornets at 11.
Dude, but I like the Hornets better than the Hawks. Am I tempted to take Bridges, LaMelo, Brandon Miller?
If the Hawks are going to be like an 11 or a 12, I think that means they traded Trae Young, and I just can't see that happening midseason. Trae is good enough to elevate them to at least a decent offense, and that guarantee is more than anything from the Raptors or the Hornets.
I mean, I do agree Trae Young's the best player out of those 3 teams, probably.
For sure.
But, man, I just really think they were bad last year, and then they traded.
They were bad. They were bad. But you have to also remember Trae missed a good portion of that like second half of the season.
I know.
Trae missed some time. This is the one I'm going to plant my flag on. I've let you get some. I'm going to have. I think the Hawks have to be.
You let me have the 15 seed, and you get the 9 seed.
I also let you have the Pistons at 12. I've given you 2 now.
Yeah.
I gave you your bottom feeders.
That's true.
I think the Hawks have to be at worst 10. I think they're more so 9.
I'm just throwing it out here when they finish like 13th that Ryan said first.
Okay. And we can put the Raptors at 10 because clearly you like the Raptors a good bit, which I agree with. I think the Raptors and Hornets are going to be more fun than people expect.
I just think too with the Hornets. I mean, it's LaMelo's health. If LaMelo has another bad injury, the Hornets could lose 60 games again. I think. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If LaMelo gets hurt the second week of the season, like they're going to bottom out. I think. You know what I mean? I think he has to stay healthy. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts for that team to be successful. And by successful, I mean win 30 games or 35 games.
Be like a playing team. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with that. All right. 8 spot.
Let's go to the top.
I'll go to the top. Okay, let's do that. Celtics at 1 is what I have.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, going to be missing KP, but they were still really good last season.
Why did they cut Lonnie Walker? I saw that news today.
Luxury tax purposes. Like it was going to really raise their tax bill if they kept Lonnie Walker. So I hope someone picks him up because he's good, and I would have loved to see him on a roster. It wasn't because he was bad; it was just because of financial implications. So
I do worry about their depth, though. I mean, Horford's getting a lot older. And then you're kind of down. And with KP out, that kind of leaves you like really thin.
Xavier Tillman he shot 3s in the preseason. I will say that. Not that I'm counting on that, but I will say it is something he was doing.
So I could see the Celtics size becoming an issue. With Horford getting slower and Porzingis not playing to start the year, if you're relying a lot on Xavier Tillman, I think it'll be okay against teams that don't have good centers, but when you're playing like Giannis or you're playing Bam or you're playing Embiid or any of these teams with good, even the Knicks now with Towns, I think it's going to be I think it's not talked about enough weakness of the Celtics. So I do agree that they're 1, but just a little devil's advocate. If they kind of don't look as good to start the year, I think that's going to be why.
Yeah, I do think the KP thing they're not going to run away with the East the way they did last year. I think they will
I think it
still
speaks
be
tighter. I think there's a chance they slide down. Like last year, I think it was very big consensus that they were going to beat everybody. I think there's a chance where this 1, 2, 3 could flip flop.
Yeah, except for the Bucks. People thought the Bucks might be somewhat competitive with them, but obviously that didn't really happen. I had the Knicks at 2.
I would personally have the next. I would have Knicks, Sixers, Cavs as my next 2, 3,
Knicks,
4.
Sixers, Cavs. Interesting. So here, for reference, I had the Knicks at 2. I had the Bucks at 3. I had the Sixers 4. I had the Cavs 5 and the Pacers 6. That's how I had the.
Chris Middleton cannot be relied on. Damian Lillard showed absolutely nothing last year, and they're still for Doc Rivers.
Absolutely nothing's a little bit of a. They do have Doc Rivers. That is concerning. But weren't the Sixers a 1 seed under Doc Rivers?
Then Joel Embiid.
The Bucks have Giannis.
They had them last year too, and they were terrible.
They weren't terrible. They just didn't live up to expectations.
They were bad.
They were not. They were a 3 seed in the East. They were not bad.
3 seed did that. People thought they were going to win 60 games.
Okay, but they did all that despite Adrian Griffin having that whole situation go on. They did that despite Doc Rivers existing in the second half of the year.
Weren't they 500 with Doc Rivers? They were 500 with Doc Rivers, I'm pretty sure.
I remember exactly what they were.
I'm pretty sure they were 500.
Bucks. Let me see. Adrian Griffin.
I think when Griffin got fired, they were like 10 or 15 games above 500.
He was fired after 43 games.
What was the record?
The Bucks record their last 39 games. Bucks record last 39 games.
Make sure that's just regular season.
Last 39 games record. Is this including playoffs? I think it is.
Did you add regular season? Are you doing stat muse?
Yeah, I'm trying to stat muse it. Last 39 games of the regular season. It does not know what I'm trying to say.
Just look up Bucks record under Doc Rivers. I bet it comes up. Hold on, I'll look it up.
Having great podcasting right now. Last 39 games.
18 and 20. Exactly. 2 games under 500 with Doc Rivers. And you want them to be 2?
I know. You were just now trying to force agendas into my realm of existence.
Chris Middleton is literally in the geriatric home now. He can't even play.
That's crazy to say about like a 32-year-old man.
I do like Chris Middleton, but I do think his body's giving out on him. I think he's been fighting the injury for the last.
I'm going to set it up. So this is the way you would have it. Would be this:
Philly, Cleveland, Milwaukee.
I just with Philly. I think because Ryan's a Sixers fan. If you didn't know, Philly, I think is going to be really good. I think this is the best Sixers team of the Joel Embiid era. But Embiid not playing back-to-backs, nor Paul George seemingly. PG being out for the first week. Embiid's going to miss some time here and there.
All right, Embiid playing back-to-backs. I'll believe that when I see it.
He's not. I don't think he plays back-to-backs.
I'll believe it when we'll wait till the back-to-backs happen.
Okay, and then where would you have the Bucks? Where would you have the Bucks?
5.
You'd have the Bucks at 5. Okay.
And then I would probably go Indiana, Miami, Orlando, Miami. I don't really care.
I had Indy, Orlando, Miami as the 6, 7, 8. So
all right, we can put that in there. And so here I'm gonna give you my vouchers real quick.
Okay.
The Bucks, I just think without Chris Middleton, I just think it's gonna be really top heavy, like their team. And I just really don't. I don't know. I think
Brooke made good depth additions though too. Like they got Gary Trent now. They got Taurean Prince. They got DeLon Wright.
Bro, ain't no way you saying Taurean Prince and DeLon Wright are gonna make them a 2 seed.
I don't. I said 3 seed, and that's what they were last year. So they're not making them anything. They're maintaining them at that spot.
I do agree they're good around the margins pieces, man. The Dame and Giannis pairing just was not anything that really struck me as amazing last year. I don't know, man. I'm just not high on them. I think with Chris Middleton elevated and Brook Lopez playing to his ball, I think the Bucks could be really good. On paper, the Bucks should be really good, I think. They have a very good – and that's why I think everyone was so high on them last year. And then nothing just really, I don't know, screamed that last year. I don't know.
I will let you have Philly.
We can switch Cleveland, Milwaukee, but I'm really high in Cleveland because they finished, 4-5 last year and had literally like a bajillion injuries.
They did. They had a lot of injuries, which is why I've seen some people put them lower. And I think Garland bounces back a little bit. I can see Cleveland being up to like 3. But the thing is, last year in the Eastern Conference, like say these are the standings we go with.
Yeah.
Last year in the Eastern Conference, it was three teams that finished with the same record. It was the Magic, the Pacers, and Sixers all finished with 47 wins. Cavs were the 4 seed with 48 wins. Bucks were the 3 seed with 49. Knicks were the 2 seed with 50. Heat were the 8 seed with 46. I think we see something very similar in the East where it's very, very tight. So I'm cool with something like this. I don't want to put the Bucks lower than 4 because I think just by virtue of having Giannis, they will be at least a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. If Giannis goes down with injury, they could fall like all the way down to like the 10 or something like that. But I don't think so. We don't have precedence, knock on wood, that Giannis is going to get hurt. He's been healthy. So, obviously outside of the end of the season, which was just a freak thing. So I still think the Bucks are going to be top 4. I'm okay with this the way we have it right now. I hate having Orlando at 7, but it's just, again, I think it's one of those situations
everyone else
where
is better. It's not that they're bad. Everyone else is just better, I think.
It's just one of those situations where somebody has to theoretically drop unless everything just stays the same. And with the East being so close, like the Magic might have 46 wins and the Bucks have like 47 or 48. It could be that close, or like the Magic could be like just 3 games back of like the Sixers or something like that. I think the Magic are really good. I could also just see a little bit of regression. I think last year they like really beat up on the bad teams and were like meh kind of against some of the better teams, if I remember what their record or their splits were correctly. Yeah. So I could see them dropping maybe a couple more games, or like the better teams get the better of them more often. So yeah, I'm okay with this. Miami at 8. It's kind of just the typical Miami spot, it feels like. I could see them being better with Jimmy maybe more motivated and Bam now being allowed to shoot threes. Eric Spoelstra has freed him from he's been shooting a bunch of them in preseason. He had
preseason,
1 3.
Ben Simmons made 3s in the preseason, man.
Okay, but Bam made 3s at the end of last season for the Heat and in the Olympics and now in preseason, and he's shooting a good bit of them.
I want to see it.
Bam will shoot at least 3 threes a game this season.
All right.
Shoot 3 threes a game.
You heard it here first.
Okay. So this is the Eastern Conference standings. I guess we're going to go with, I feel like any outcome with the East, just in terms of predictions, I hate. This one feels so difficult. And it's not going to get a lot easier in the Western Conference. Like, I also hate a lot of combinations possible in the West. Let's go there, though. Let's start at the bottom. Oh, actually, let me recap our East standings just real quick for anyone.
Yeah, you didn't get to let me finish saying my piece.
On which team?
Oh, I didn't get to talk. I was going to talk about like Orlando and Indiana and Miami.
Okay, real quick. So our standings are Celtics, Knicks, Sixers, Bucks, Cavs, Pacers, Magic, Miami, Hawks, Raptors, Hornets, Pistons, Bulls, Wizards, and Nets. Those are our 1 through 15 in order. I'll let you say your piece.
So didn't we talk about this on a past episode where Orlando, they were good last year? Like, I'm not here trying to say they got a Mickey Mouse path to a good seed, but a lot of teams got really hurt around them. Like Philly missed Joel Embiid for a massive chunk of the season. The Cavs had like a billion different starting lineups, and Darius Garland had the worst year of his career. Like, it felt like there was never a time where like Mitchell, Mobley, Allen, and Garland were all in the court of the season. It always felt like 1 or 2 of them were out. The Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton, we both know, even though he was playing, he was not 100% healthy. Like, he did not look like he did that first half of the year. Like, just like, not even skill wise, just like explosiveness, and just like he just looked off. You know what I mean?
Wasn't as aggressive. It felt like a lot of games.
And even Donovan Mitchell too. I know he was fighting a leg injury as well towards the end of the season too, and he was looking kind of rough too. So I just think I know they lost Wendell Carter for a little bit of the year, but I just really think the Magic kind of not like kind of like you said. I think they're going to regress a little bit, not because they're bad, but because of other teams. Because we're predicting based on health, right? For all we know, like you said, Giannis could get hurt, and then we're going to look like idiots because we had the Bucks in the 4 seed and they finished 10th, right?
It's impossible to predict the NBA standings. Yeah. So you've got to get lucky.
So if we're predicting this based on like everyone being healthy and playing to the best of their ability, then I think this makes sense. And because like for the Bucks right now, I can use Chris Middleton not being healthy as like rationale for putting them at 4 versus 2 or 3, Whereas I can't say like, oh, Darius Garland might be bad again and get hurt, or something like that. Because you can only use what you know right now.
Yeah, and we do have some information that guys are going to be hurt, so we're utilizing that a little bit more. But yeah, okay, that's our Eastern Conference. The West, starting off at the bottom, which last year gave us trouble. It's going to be Portland. They have interesting talent, but they don't have a lot of it. Like Jeremy Grant's going to be good, but I think he gets traded. They've got Robert Williams still. I could see him getting moved off of 8, and I don't think gets traded, but he's not really moving the needle that much. They still do have Simons. They've got Sharp. They've got Scoot who could bounce back. this Portland team, I think, might be better than your typical last seed in the Western Conference, but it's not going to be enough to get them enough wins to get beyond that, in my opinion. And then I think it's Utah right above them.
I personally would switch Utah and Portland.
I knew you would. I the second I started talking and you didn't do like a little bit of a nod gesture, I knew you were going to say Utah below Portland.
See, I'm not gonna, last year I was vouching for Portland to be like a 10 seed. I'm not going to do that this year, but it would be hilarious if this year that it actually happened. But I think I agree with you. I think Utah has the best overall player in Lauri Markkanen, but I think Portland has higher upside talent than Utah because I think there's kind of a drop. Like I'm not saying there's not other good players on Utah's team, but I think as a whole there's a lot more talent in Portland. Like, I think between like Scoot and Sharp and Simons and Grant and Ayton and Rob Williams, I just think that's a lot more talent than Utah has, in my opinion.
I mean, I just feel like the Blazers are going to do everything in their power to lose. Like Cooper Flag getting there would be huge for them because they don't have that.
You don't think Utah wants Cooper Flag? That's like their poster boy.
Of course, Utah wants Cooper Flag. Like they want to get to the bottom there, put him next to Lauri Markkanen. But I just think Portland is a worse basketball team. Utah is better coached too with Will Hardy. He's a much better coach than Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups is kind of just on borrowed time right now. I believe his contract expires after this season. He's not going to be back. Hardy's a better coach. Colin Sexton's really good. John Collins had a pretty good season last year. They still have Walker Kessler there, although it sounds like he could be traded at some point. They've still got young talent that I'm interested in. Like I think Keontae George could have a really big second year. Taylor Hendricks is interesting this season. I think Cody Williams will be pretty solid from day one. So to me, the Jazz, I think, just have more talent that I know how to
reverse. I think Portland has more talent. I think Utah's got the best player, but I think Portland has more upside talent. I don't know.
Like the Jazz won 30. The Jazz won 10 more games last season than the Blazers. And the only thing the Blazers really did was they're going to get maybe some development.
Simons missed the majority of the year.
He did.
DeAndre Ayton didn't play a ton, and when he did, he was terrible. Rob Williams missed the entire year.
I mean, but with Rob, like, are we expecting him to play that much? I don't think so. And I think Jeremy Grant gets moved throughout the season. He's their best player. Like, all they really did was add, like, Denny to this team. And
I forgot about. Oh, they're definitely 14. Then I'm just kidding. I love Denny. I'm gonna stick
with this.
All right, I think Portland's gonna be better, but you can have it.
Okay. 13. Then this is where the Spurs, I think, are. I'm not there yet with the Spurs. I think they'll be better this season, like much better on paper and on the court, but it's not going to translate to the standings because there's just so many better teams. I mean, I guess to move up one spot to 13 as opposed to 14 last season.
I hear you're 11 and 12.
My 11 and 12.
Yeah.
11 is the Golden State Warriors and 12 is the Los Angeles Clippers for me. I had them reversed in my prediction video that I dropped, but now that we have like that was before the official Kawhi news came out. The vibes are so bad in LA right now. It's bad.
Look at that logo, man.
The logo's cool.
Why does it look like a steering wheel?
It's a Clipper. It's a ship. It's a cruise ship. It kind of does look like a
steering wheel. Looks like I should be playing Mario Kart with it.
I hope your steering wheel has something on the right there, though, because if it's open like that, that's a little bit concerning. So that's where I have them. Spurs, I think Wemby's going to be really good, and Chris Paul's going to elevate them, but how many games is he going to be on the court? Outside of Wemby, there's not a lot of great defenders on the roster. I mean, Wemby did the thing he did last year. They were a bottom 10 defense in the league. So Wemby could be even better defensively, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get them at best beyond like a league average or defense. I think the offense is going to be really bad this year. They just don't have a lot of shooting. They've got like more NBA players now with Harrison Barnes and Chris Paul, but I don't know. Last year, like Barnes wasn't that great anyways.
I'm cool with you putting the Spurs at 13, but my take is going to be that the Spurs finish ahead of one of these like storied franchise, like these franchises that have either superstars or like former superstars. I don't think the Spurs finish 13th. I don't know who they're going to be better than, but I have a feeling that they're not going to finish 13th.
I could see a world where if the Clippers, like say Kawhi hardly plays this season and Harden gets injured, I think the Clippers could fall into that spot, which as a Thunder fan would be amazing because that with Thunder have the Clippers pick. But I just think Kawhi will be back at some point. They do have decent supporting pieces. Zubats is still there. Norman Powell's still there. Derek Jones was really good last season. Like Chris Dunn helps them out defensively. So this is where I have the Clippers, though. I just feel like they've got enough talent to keep themselves afloat without Kawhi. Both so many better teams in the West. Like Harden running the show is not going to go well.
I want to be devil's advocate for a different team. Where do you have Houston?
I have Houston at 10. I think Houston makes the plan.
All right, I'm cool with those being our 10, 11, 12 because Houston is the other team that I see in the mix there.
Yeah, I went. These are the 3 teams I think will end up in this range. The people have been talking about the Warriors better. Maybe they jump off the page more to people than they do to me. I just don't trust their role players at all. Like, there's young guys that could take leaps with a Kuminga or a Pods, but it just still feels like the only known factor for them is Steph Curry. Buddy Hield, you know this.
Other guys.
Well, Buddy Hield, you know this, last year was pretty good with the Sixers in some games, and then he fell off a cliff and was unplayable for most of the playoffs.
The rotation, for a lot of the series.
Because the defense doesn't exist with him, and the shooting, it could be really on, but then there are some nights where it's off. Melton, you also know from the Sixers, has had some really good games when he's healthy, but he's like never on the court. They've got Wiggins, who we don't know what version of him we're going to see. Are Kuminga and Pod's going to jump enough? Like, what's Draymond going to look like this season getting older? And is he going to be hitting people this year again? Kevon Looney didn't play a lot last year. What is Trace Jackson Davis the answer? I just feel like they're relying on a lot of question marks. And if, again, knock on wood, if Steph Curry goes down for like a month, this team is not going to win like more than 3 games. There's no way. They're going to be so reliant on him. And as much as I still think Steph is really good, I don't think he can carry them beyond teams that have better depth, more star power. Like Houston, at least I know their defense is going to be really good. And if Jalen Green is even somewhat looks like what we saw from him the end of last season, if Şengün is playing pretty well, he did get a bag. Both of them got a bag today. Don't love the Jalen Green contract. It could be a steal potentially if he really pops off, but like $35 million nearly for him. It's the exact dollar sign. Also, he has a player option on last year, which I hate. I thought it was going to be a team option. It's 3 years for $106 million. So 35-ish mil per year.
I don't hate that.
I don't like it because the first half of the season, he was like terrible. He was just straight up bad. And he had a great last month, and I hope it's more so that we see from Jalen Green. I thought they were just going to make him prove it. I thought they were going to let him play out this season, prove it to us, and then we'll give you a bag in restricted free agency because nobody's going to throw Jalen Green that much money in restricted free agency. It never happens.
I'm sure there was some internal dialogue like Jalen, because Jalen, I'm not saying he's a diva, but I can see it. And it's just like, oh, you need to pay me or I'm going to be a problem in your locker room type of deal.
And maybe Houston just thought they would get out in front of it.
Like that. I'm not going to speak for him, but I could just see it.
So, yeah, that's how I kind of feel about these teams. I've seen some people have Houston up at like a 6 or something and think they're really going to jump.
I don't think they have top-end talent for that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think they have a guy. Every team above them has a guy at the very least or multiple guys. They just don't really have that.
The guy.
Şengün is good. He's not the guy. Number 9. Who do you have here? I'm curious. Who do you have here? Because I have a team here that a lot of people did not like me having them here.
Memphis.
Did not have Memphis here now. I had them higher.
That'd be my pick. I would go, hold on. I'm going to tell you my 9, 8, 7 real quick.
Okay.
You're
about to say something crazy. I'm excited. This is why it's fun to do this together.
Memphis, Minnesota, New Orleans.
Oh my God. Okay. New Orleans was my 9. Minnesota and the Grizzlies were much higher than that. They're much higher.
Maybe the Kings at 7.
The Kings were who I had at 7.
Minnesota.
So my 9, 8, 7 was.
I'm Team Towns. I think they're gonna. I want them to fall off a bit without Towns. I like Cat.
My 9, 8, 7 was New Orleans. It was the Lakers at 8, and it was the Kings at 7. That's who I had.
I'm gonna need the Lakers a little higher.
Let me explain my reason behind all of them. Pelicans. The talent's great. Zion, Ingram.
I know they don't have a center.
Well, yeah, they don't have they're having Herb Jones play the center, which is ridiculous.
Is that really? Did they announce he's going to start?
Yeah, they didn't announce he's not going to start at the 5. I think the starting lineup is just going to be their 5 best players on paper. Theoretically,
Zion's going to be the 5 technically.
Yes, he's going to technically start at the 5, but the report was that Herb Jones is going to effectively be guarding their bigs out there and play the 5.
How tall? I really don't hate that.
I despise it.
I don't hate it. I kind of
Herb Jones. How tall do you think Herb Jones is?
6'6".
You're basically right. 6'7". Yeah.
I don't hate it. I think it could be fun. I think with Jonas Valanciunas, I think their offense got a really clunky, and I think having a traditional big man next to Zion, like unless you have like Karl Anthony Towns next to Zion, and there's only like 2 or 3 other bigs that can kind of replicate his skill set. I think I could see where they're coming from, where having someone a little bit more versatile next to Zion makes the team better.
But the problem is,
not to drop the F-bomb on the podcast, but I kind of rock with it.
We have the explicit tag on Spotify. It's fine.
Yeah. I want to give it a chance before I hate on it.
I'm going to hate on it from day one.
The Warriors never had a center. Look how they did.
They did have centers.
They'd pick up Andrew Bogut off waivers before.
Okay, Bogut was really good. They had like a Mo Spates and a Festus Ezeli, and they could run. Well, the thing is, they could run small ball with Draymond Green, one of the best, most versatile defenders ever at the 5. Herb Jones is awesome, but my big worry is the Pelicans were really stout defensively last season with Herb playing the role that he did,
but
and now they want to completely switch it up.
But Trey Murphy can play more now. I don't know, dude.
Sure, but I don't think Trey Murphy saves them.
I think the Pelicans.
Also, with the Pelicans, this is one we're taking into account injuries. I don't know how many games Ingram and Zion are going to play. They never play. They never do.
The whole year, he got hurt in the playoffs.
Which is the problem because he played all of last year.
But the playoffs don't matter for the standings.
Well, no, I'm saying he played all of last year pretty much. So this year, it feels like there's a real chance.
You're saying it's due for regression.
Yeah, there's some regression with the injury stuff.
Yeah.
And Ingram, I don't like. Also, what's the Ingram situation even going to look like? Because he still doesn't have an extension, so we're going into the year playing on the last year of his deal, and the fact that they just extended Trey Murphy.
He needs to hoop.
Well, no, because I think he's going to get paid regardless. If anything, I think there could be turmoil because they just extended Trey Murphy, who would be his replacement, and Ingram is playing without a contract. I think there could be turmoil there. I really like Zion playing there, but I feel like the fit around him is still kind of clunky. Ingram doesn't really shoot that many threes. Herb Jones pretty much only shoots out of the corner, and he's really good in those corners, but he's not a guy that you need to worry about like above the break. CJ shoots a bunch of threes. He's good. DeJounte shot more probably than he should last season, and he shot okay. What was the exact percentage on that? It was
4.3.
It was 34.5%. Yeah, he's not a shooter. He took 7 threes last season. Or sorry, 36.3%. Still not that great.
36.3?
Yeah, that's not that great.
Not bad. Come on, man. What does Shea shoot? What does Shea shoot from 3?
Shea also didn't shoot that great from 3 last season. I'm not saying Shea's not a guy who's like an elite spacer. He shot 35.3, but at least like if it was Shea next to Zion, you'd be like, oh, those are 2 guys who really like to attack the paint, like the spacing. You really need good shooters around them. CJ's a great shooter, but that's the only like competent, reliable 3-point shooter all over the court that's in that lineup. I just feel like they're trying to just shoehorn their talent in. And then maybe throughout the season, they make a trade that opens it up a little bit. But, like, are you counting on Herb Jones to guard Nikola Jokic? Are you counting on him to guard, like, a Zach Edey out there or an Anthony Davis? Or
you don't want Zach Edey out there. That's crazy.
He's like 7'3". He's huge.
They can play him off the court, bro, defensively. He wouldn't be able to guard anyone on their team.
Is he going to guard Sabonis? Like, Chet? He's not guarding those guys. I was going to say Rudy Gobert, but I'm not going to say Rudy Gobert.
I would have flamed you for that. I'm glad you didn't say that. I'm going to say, ain't no way.
And I feel like they're just misusing Herb. Herb is this elite Swiss Army knife on the perimeter. He can guard down low if he needs to because he's incredible defensively. And then also you take a look at their starting lineup defensively. CJ is not good defensively. Zion is pretty hit or miss. And if you're asking him to guard bigger and bigger guys, I worry about that. Ingram isn't this great defender. DeJounte has fallen off a cliff since he got to Atlanta. Maybe he's better now with less on his plate over here in New Orleans, but I still worry about that. Like, it's just, I don't know. The Pelicans could definitely be higher. There is a world where this all clicks and I look stupid and they're like a 5 or a 6 seed. I mean, they were hovering right on the 4 or 5 a lot of last season when they were healthy. But I feel like taking a look at this team now, if there's a single injury, they're going to drop them the standings like they did last year when Brandon Ingram got hurt. And I feel like they're relying too much on talent, not enough on fit. And they're just like, oh, we've got all these great players. It's going to work. I don't know if it's going to. So that's my case for them there. I went on a way too long spiel. Lakers at 8 is because last year LeBron and AD both played 70-plus games. I don't know if that happens again. The depth is bad. They really don't have that much beyond those 2 guys. I like Don't Connect there. I think JJ Redick, I like the system they've been running in preseason. Shooting more threes. Connect looked great in that last game that he played. He had like 30 points. But I just don't know if I like them more than the teams above them. No, it'll be the same lineup as last season.
LeBron, 80, Reeves, and Hutchmore.
Yeah, it'll be that same lineup. And then off the bench, it's like Gabe Vincent, it's Dalton Connect, I think. Jackson Hayes, I guess, is also going to be coming off the bench for them to start the season. Like Jared Vanderbilt, I don't believe is ready to start the year. Let me double check that. The depth is bad beyond those guys is basically what I'm going for.
They don't have a better bench score. That's kind of
yeah. It's
I guess Connect is supposed to be that guy, but
yeah. Vanderbilt's gonna be reevaluated in 2 weeks, so he's not there to start the season. I think they're gonna have to make him,
bro.
that is a case against them.
Oh man, I'm looking at their roster right now. Cam Reddish is still on their team. That's cool.
Yeah, which also
wait, is Christian Wood actually still on their team?
Yeah, but I believe he's hurt.
Yeah, I swear hurt. He wasn't. I thought he was a 1-year deal. Did they re-sign him?
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's out at least 8 weeks as of September 9th, so he's got like 4 more weeks to go. And it was a knee surgery, so
that's fun.
Doesn't sound particularly, but I mean, you do you.
All right. And then who's your 7 again?
Kings were 7. I think DeRozan makes them more fun offensively and adds an interesting dynamic, especially when it comes to more shot creation. I think that's big. But the defense, I don't trust to be very good. And their bench, their depth is bad. Like they also don't really have any depth. So here's their depth chart. It's going to be starting. They're going to have Fox, Keon Ellis, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis. The bench is Jordan McLaughlin, Kevin Huerter, Malik Monk, Trey Lyles, Alex Len, Colby Jones. Like it's not a good bench.
Got a drop off after Monk.
Yeah, they're going to need a lot from Malik Monk and those starters. So I don't like the depth. I don't love the defense. So that's why I have them at 7. I think there's a world where the Kings are better than that, but I feel like I trust the teams above them a little bit.
I still don't like the Grizzlies.
The Grizzlies, for me, it's just a matter of on paper, this team looks good. Like they have the best player out of a lot of teams around them in Ja Morant. The injuries are concerning. That's the big thing with the Grizzlies. I feel like on paper, I could see them as a top 4 seed. And originally I had them as a top 4 seed when I started to drop my predictions, but I couldn't get on board with just how injury prone they are. Like Jaren Jackson is missing the start of the season. GG Jackson is out for a couple of months, or at least a month or so. No Vince Williams to start the season. I don't believe either. So, but it's just like this, like Ja Morant, Marcus Smart, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson, Zach Edey, really talented starting 5. The shooting is questionable outside of like
the shooting is garbage.
Yeah, the shooting is rough. I don't love that. But then they have like Brandon Clark back off the bench.
Oh, so the shooting's not the Grizzlies can be a 6 seed of their shooting, but then for the Pelicans, it banishes them to the 9.
Ja Morant's better than any player on the Pelicans. So,
I mean, yeah, but
and also the Grizzlies, I know for sure are going to be ridiculous defensively with Edey, with Jaren, with Marcus Smart. That team's going to be a nightmare defensively.
You're high on Edey, man. Everyone was hating Edey.
I think Edey's going to be, spoiler alert, the rookie of the year. So,
rookie of the year.
He's got the best odds. Don't hate on me. Or he might not.
I mean, the rookie class is pretty mid, so honestly, I can see it. And he's going to have a big role, so I get it.
He's going to have a big role. He was putting up really good numbers the way they were using. I know I keep mentioning the preseason, but it's the only hoops we have to go off of. He's going to grab a lot of rebounds. He's going to block shots just by nature.
What were his preseason stats? Do you know?
Let me see if I can find them. Zach Edey stats. Let's see. Are they going to show me his preseason stats? I can go to his game log, I think. Game log, he had 7 points, 7 rebounds in his first game. It was 6 points, 7 rebounds, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 15 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, 23 points and 9 rebounds, 7 points and 7 rebounds. Those were his games. So, and in this rookie class, if he can get close to averaging a double on a team in the Grizzlies who are probably going to be in the playoffs, or at least I think they'll be in the playoffs, then you've got a good shot at winning Rookie of the Year.
I do like that for this year's Rookie of the Year. I feel like it's not automatic. I feel like in years past it's been like, oh, Wemby's definitely going to win. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of the more wide open Rookie of the Year races I feel like we've ever seen. So,
all right. Or
at least in recent history.
So, in my opinion,
so you had the Pelicans as a 7-8-9 team too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can agree on that. You had the Kings also here, right?
Who's your top 3?
My top 3 in the West, you're not going to like my number 2. Top 3, I had OKC at 1.
You have Minnesota too, don't you?
No, I don't have them there.
Denver?
Yes, I Denver too. I think they got worse, but it's just they always rack up a ton of regular season wins. I'm gonna be honest. I think the Thunder pretty comfortably win the West in terms of the seeding. I think they.
You think even with Hartenstein missing a month and a half,
the Thunder schedule to start the season is so easy. The Thunder schedule.
I'm not arguing y'all should be the 1 seed.
Yeah, I'm just putting this out there for people who might be questioning it. They were the 1 seed last year. They got better. Hartenstein is going to miss the start of the year, but here's their schedule up until Thanksgiving, which is around the time he's going to come back. I'll even read up until December, which is like for sure when he'll be out. It's Nuggets, Bulls, Hawks, Spurs, Blazers, Clippers, Magic, Nuggets, Rockets, Warriors, Clippers, Pelicans, Suns, Mavericks, Spurs, Blazers, Kings, Warriors, Lakers, Rockets, Jazz, Raptors, Pelicans, Magic, Heat, Wizards, Pacers. Oh, I went way further than I needed to. Hold up.
I was about to say, I'm like, bro, you just say every game.
It ended at that the Lakers game I mentioned in the NBA Cup, so November 29th.
Okay.
So, yeah, they play like the Spurs. They play the Blazers 2 times. They have they play the Spurs twice. They play the Bulls and Hawks back to back. So,
all right, hear me out.
Raptors.
Can we go for our top 4? Can we go OKC, Dallas, Denver, Minnesota,
yes.
Phoenix?
Yes, I can. This is pretty close to what I had it. I just had Denver and Dallas flipped because I feel with the Nuggets, they're one of those teams that I think just they have to get a bunch of regular season wins. And with Jokic, I feel like just the floor is maybe a little bit higher than Dallas's is for the regular season. I think Dallas is a better overall team, but in terms of the wins, I had them higher. I just don't think Dallas racks up regular season wins quite the same way as they're trying to get Klay Thompson involved to really integrate him. I feel like
I'm kind of low in Minnesota. I just feel like they have a lot of new pieces too.
Well, yeah, with Minnesota, that's why I had them here at 4, down below.
I would. That's why I kind of had them at 6 or 7 when we were going over it originally. Mm-hmm. I just think a lot of these other teams, like Phoenix, is bringing back the same core. LA is still LeBron and AD and the other guys. You know, even though Ja didn't play last year, Ja, Bane, and Jackson have been together for a minute. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like Minnesota has a lot of new pieces, and I think there's gonna be some. I personally think there's gonna be some growing pains.
I agree. That's why I had them at 4. I guess I didn't think they would be as big as you did, because for me, Randall is still really good, even though
he is good. I just think it's an interesting fit. Like
that's another team. We keep talking about the shooting and spacing of teams. That one I also worry about a little bit because Randall's not quite the shooter that
I think they're shooting.
Gobert's not a floor spacer. McDaniels is up and down, and he doesn't do a lot, like in terms of self-created threes. And he has some really good games, but has some down games. Ant is a really solid shooter.
Conley's old.
It's just him. Conley. You want to talk about geriatric? Mike Conley is really old, even though I swear that missed
he's pixie dust.
Yeah, he's basically going to turn to dust on the court. So, but I did have Phoenix at 5. Like this was my exact order, but Dallas and Denver were flipped.
It's tough, dude, because if I was making this, I'd put the Pelicans at 4 or 5. But we don't have
to. You just said when we first talked about it, you had them at like 7. Or is that just after I said where I had them?
No, if we had to order those 3 teams, I think is what I meant. Mm. I would have done Memphis, Kings, Pelicans. Like when we were like talking. I think when we were talking about those 3 teams, because originally I said I would have Minnesota in my 6-7 range.
I'm down to shake it up a little bit if you want. I just think Minnesota last year won, what was it, 56 games? Like 56 games. I feel like they can't fall off that much.
I mean, I personally think they overachieved last year too. Like they're good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be a hater.
Yeah, they won 56 games last year.
But
that's my thing too. Like the Nuggets won 57. I think they'll still be up there. I've seen some people have the Nuggets at like 5. There's no way. Unless Jokic goes down for a little bit or Jamal Murray. If their guys start getting hurt, then sure. But Jokic is such a floor raiser. Even the season where he won MVP and they were the 6th seed, they still won 48 games. And I could see a world where like the top 7 teams all win 50 plus. Maybe even the top 8 or 9. There's not an impossible outcome out there that results in that.
There's a lot of parity here. I'm not gonna lie, man. Because I'm just looking at all these teams, and I'm like, every single team, I'm like, I'm seeing flaws that I'm like, not like, like I'm looking at the 3 and 4 seed. I'm like, yeah, but they have this and this.
Okay, so I feel like I've gotten my way a couple times recently. Where do you want to put
Lakers, Memphis, Sacramento, New Orleans?
Like this? This is what you want?
Yeah.
I'll let you have it. Yeah, with the Lakers, it's just, again, the health. I mean, really with them, honestly, all these teams other than Sacramento, the health is a big concern for me. With the Lakers, the Grizzlies, and the Pelicans.
I just feel like, too, you can only account to health for what you don't know. You can only account for it so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, let's do a fun thing. I didn't even tell you about this. Let's say these were the playoff matchups we had. Let's predict them right now.
Okay.
Thunder Kings. I go Thunder in 4.
Thunder.
Give me a game number.
5.
Okay.
DeRozan hits a stupid ass game winner in like game 1.
We have weird
everyone's like, oh, the upset. Here we go. OKC.
We have weird games against the Kings. I'll also go Thunder in 5. Dallas versus Memphis. That would be a fun series.
Dallas.
Yeah, give me Dallas in like a 6. That would be a really fun series. Lakers versus Nuggets. And the Lakers get the Nuggets again. Nuggets in 6.
Lakers get the revenge. Lakers in 7.
Nuggets in 6. And Minnesota Phoenix rematch.
See, here's the thing. I picked Phoenix last year, and they got fucking swept. So
yeah, they did get smacked. I would go Minnesota in 6. I think it's a lot harder.
I think Minnesota is a pretty gross matchup, but I do think them not having Towns.
Cat was good in that series. Specifically, Cat was doing really solid defensively in that series. And not that Rain was a bad
Minnesota
defender.
in 6 or 7.
I go Minnesota in 6. Okay. And then the second round, so we made the same predictions. We had you had the Lakers winning. Okay, so I would have let's do yours first. Yeah. You would have then Thunder versus Minnesota in the second round.
I give the Thunder the nod.
How many games?
6.
Okay. Then you have Dallas versus Denver. Oh, no, you picked the Lakers. Dallas Lakers. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Dallas in 5.
And then you had oh, no, that's it. Duh. I had Thunder versus Minnesota. I take the Thunder in, I think, 6. Dallas, Denver. Give me the Mavericks in 6. I'll go with that. So I would have so we both have Thunder Dallas as our Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, and then Dallas beats your ass again.
How many games?
7.
I have Thunder in 6. Shea Western Conference Finals MVP. Reasoning for that: Thunder, they were better on both sides of the ball in the regular season. In the playoffs, really the offense kind of sputtered. Part of that was Josh Giddey existing on the court out there a lot of times, and they could just sag off of him. Alex Caruso coming in, that's not an issue. He's a 40% three-point shooter. Also, Dallas destroyed the Thunder in terms of the lobs. They just kept running pick and rolls and resulting in lobs, as well as just being able to get extra offensive possessions. Isaiah Hartenstein is a big reason that's going to go away, in my opinion. He's going to shut a lot of that down. Thunder offense, I think, is going to be really versatile. I think the Thunder defense is going to be ridiculous. And now you have another weapon in Caruso, alongside, of course, Lou Dort, Cason Wallace, Shea, J-Dub, all these guys to throw at a Luke and Kyrie. I think the Thunder are the more complete team on both sides of the ball. So, yeah, give me the Thunder in 6 games.
I think Mavericks. I still worry about OKC's offense in a 7-game playoff series. I think Shea has to do too much heavy lifting. And if the Mavericks run a scheme where they kind of take the ball to Shea's hands and make other people beat them, I don't think they could. Whereas if you do that to Luka, you have Kyrie Irving.
I don't worry about that because I think J-Dub averages around 23-ish points per game this season and is more than capable of being that second option. And the Thunder have more shooters that I trust going into this year. PJ Washington killed us. I don't think he shoots like that again in a series. And overall throughout last season, I mean, outside the Thunder series, he shot bad in the playoffs. It was just that one series where the Thunder had to scheme like that because that was the result of the talent that they had. Now that they have more defensive talent and they've got more personnel that they can throw at the Mavericks, you don't have to scheme as hard as just letting the shooters sit there in the corners, which resulted in PJ catching rhythm and then knocking down those threes. Yeah, so that's my thought process. The Mavericks did have Klay Thompson, of course. He is a Thunder killer, so he will be a problem. But I think
Luka fanboy, and I think this is where the Mavericks dynasty starts.
Okay, Eastern Conference. Let's talk about the playoffs over here. So I have, and I mean, I'm a Thunder fanboy, so it's fine. We would have the Celtics facing off against the Heat. Rematch last year.
Boston in 5.
Now we go Boston in 5 as well. Knicks facing off against the Magic. That'll be a gross series, but a fun one.
4.
I'll go Knicks in 5. I think the Magic are good enough to take 1. Philly versus Indiana.
Sixers in 5.
I'll go Sixers in 6. The Pacers are good. They're a fast-paced offense. It'd be fun. And then the Bucks and the Cavaliers.
Cavaliers in 6.
Give me Bucks in 6. Celtics versus, you would have the Cavs. Rematch of last year again. A lot of rematches.
I know. Celtics in 6.
I would go Celtics in. I'll give 6. Celtics in 6. And then you have the Knicks and the Sixers.
How
far are you going to go with the Sixers?
Knicks in 7.
Okay.
This team breaks my heart year after year, and I think it's going to happen again.
It can't make that conference finals, buddy. Sorry. Get ready to learn second round exit again. Celtics are going to beat the Bucks in 6. The Knicks beat the Sixers in 7. I think the Sixers are really good, but I give the slight edge to the Knicks. And then conference finals, we both have Celtics versus Knicks. I have the Celtics in 6 with Tatum winning conference finals MVP.
Knicks in 7.
With Brunson winning finals MVP or conference finals
MVP?
Anthony
Towns.
Oh, okay. In the West, I'm guessing it was Luka for you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then, so my NBA finals would be Thunder versus Celtics. Yours would be Knicks versus Mavericks.
Yeah.
The Brunson Bowl, if you will.
The Dennis Smith Jr. Bowl.
Or that, I guess.
Or the Tim Hardaway Jr. Bowl. Or
it could be that. The Porzingis Bowl at one point.
Yeah. Just pulling out all the stops. There's wasn't a Mon Shumpert trade. I don't know. There's some other random role players.
I don't think Shumpert was ever a Mav.
I'm trying to think. There's other like weird wings in that trade.
I think was Raymond Felton ever? I think he was a Maverick.
There are some weird wings in that trade for like.
Yeah, he was a Maverick.
Them. I thought there were more wings in that Luka trade. Maybe not. Or the Brunson trade.
The Raymond Felton Bowl.
Oh, now you look that trade up. Because not a Mon Shumpert.
Talking about the Porzingis trade.
Maybe there's just some weird wings in a trade that I remember. I don't remember who it is. It's like not Amon Shumpert, but someone that's like Amon Shumpert.
Knicks got Dennis Smith. Yeah, I think you're thinking of the Porzingis trade. It was Dennis Smith Jr., DeAndre Jordan, Wesley Matthews, 2 future firsts.
Wesley Matthews, that's it.
The Wesley Matthews Bowl.
Yep.
Okay, so who would you have winning in your finals? Mavericks versus Knicks.
The New York Knicks win the finals in 7 games.
Man, good year for New York sports, huh?
I know, for real.
And you got
if you're a Giants or Jets fan.
Yeah, anything but New York football. Are you going Brunson Finals MVP?
Yes, against his old team.
Man, that's a story. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen because it's going to be Thunder Celtics. And the Oklahoma City Thunder, my favorite team, are going to win the NBA Finals.
Man, I should have picked Philly to beat them. Screw you.
Thunder in 7 over the Celtics. It's really hard to repeat in the NBA. I do worry a little bit about how the wear and tear is going to go with KP. And I just think the Thunder have the personnel to throw at the Celtics. They've got great defenders all over the roster. They've got size now. And I mean, we haven't seen a reigning NBA champion make it out of the second round in, I think since 2018. I think that was the last time that happened, I believe. So it doesn't really happen very often in the modern NBA. The Celtics are stacked. If they repeat, I'm not surprised at all. But this is the first time in my time here on YouTube and just covering the Thunder in general that I've been able to actually like reasonably predict them to win the finals. So give me the Thunder. Give me my team. Okay, those are our standing predictions and our NBA finals. Let's talk awards now. Let's go through our awards real quick. I already said my rookie of the year, so I guess we'll just start there. I have Zach Edey winning rookie of the year. He's just going to get a lot of opportunity. I think there's a world where he averages a double-double or close to it. He's going to get blocks because he's super tall and just be involved in a Grizzlies team that I think will be in the playoffs this year. Ryan's a little bit more iffy on them, but yeah, give me Zach Edey.
All right. My rule is I'm not going to pick any of your same answers.
Okay, do we want to go make sure we go with opposites?
Yeah.
Or we can't pick the same one? Sure, I'm down for that.
Yeah. And so we have to alternate.
Okay. Who's your rookie of the year?
All right. I'm going to go Dalton Connect.
Okay.
I'm going to go. I think he's going to have a sizable role. I think he's going to play 25 to 30 minutes a game off the bench because they don't have a lot of bench depth. I think he's going to get a lot of run. And I think there's a world where he finds his way into the starting lineup.
Okay. I'm cool with the Dalton Connect pick.
I'm going to go with Dalton Connect. I was thinking Reed Shepherd too. But
Reed Shepherd, my only issue is like there's a lot of guards on that team, so I don't know if he's going to get the opportunity. I think Reed Shepherd's going to be one of the most impactful rookies from day one. Yeah. I just don't know if he gets quite the run. I do want to say Zachary Wisashe. number one overall pick. I've never seen a number one overall pick get less hype to win Rookie of the Year than this.
Oh, yeah.
I think if he's just out there knocking down some threes off Trae Young passes and playing solid defense, he could compete for it. Alex
He's
Sarr,
going to be on a list. I'm calling it now. He's going to be on a list of worst top 1 overall picks in like 5 years. I'm just going to throw it out there now.
I think he's going to be good.
Anyone better to pick, but like I guarantee he's on the list. He's going to be on the list.
Next up, we have, let's do 6th man of the year next. I have Malik, or you have to go first.
You pick Malik Monk. That's fine. I'll pick someone else.
Okay. Malik Monk, like we talked about, Kings bench is bad. They need him to do a lot for them. And in my opinion, last year was a year he should have won. Naz Reid is not a bad pick at all. You could have gone either way, but I personally just have Malik Monk as my pick. And now that Naz Reid has Dante DiVincenzo coming off the bench with him and Rob Dillingham as Ryan is having a sneeze attack. Fun fact, Ryan always sneezes at least like 4 times. There it is, 4 times.
I do.
So, yeah, give me Malik Monk. I think he could have won last year. I think he wins it this year.
Oh, man. 6th man of the year. I wish I had a list of 6 men in front of me.
I mean, I can give you some of the top odds guys. You got Malik Monk. You've got Naz Reid, Benedict Mathurin, Dante DiVincenzo, Karis LeVert. Buddy Hield, your guy, is on here. If CJ McCollum up here, but he's going to be starting. Like a Jordan Clarkson, a Jaime Jaquez. If he's not starting, Bobby Portis, Norman Powell. They have Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein both listed on here. I don't know who's going to start. I think it goes back and forth. Neither one of them plays enough games off the bench. Deuce McBride potentially, or Josh Hart, depending on who comes off the bench there.
Is Derek White going to start for the Celtics?
Yeah, of course.
All right, I'm gonna go off the rails.
Bogdan Bogdanovic for your favorite team, the Hawks. No. Trey Murphy the third.
No. Wait, is Trey Murphy? All right. I'm gonna make 2 picks.
Okay.
Trey Murphy is my real pick.
Okay.
Peyton Pritchard's my fun pick.
Ooh, a Peyton Pritchard pop-off season?
Because I think what's going to happen is with Porzingis missing a lot of time, they're going to run a shortened rotation. And I think they're going to run a lot of lineups where Pritchard's in there with a lot of the big guys. So, like the big names. So, My real pick is Trey Murphy. My fun pick is Peyton Pritchard.
I like it.
And then, wait, what was the other one? I want to do a fun pick for everyone. Rookie of the year. I said don't. Yeah. My fun pick.
That's kind of already like a fun pick.
Yeah.
Not that there's not a good chance of it happening, but it's
my fun pick's Jared McClain.
There you go. My fun pick for that one will be Bub Carrington.
Okay.
I like the idea of it. Rob Dillingham is also interesting if he starts going, but there's just Naz Reid, Dante. There's too many guys. Bub, I think, could really do some fun stuff to run the while running the Wizards offense. Yeah. For MIP, 6th man of the year, a fun one. Give me Deuce McBride.
Okay.
He's come off the bench a good bit. I think there's a world where he starts and Josh Hart comes off the bench. Either Josh Hart or Deuce McBride, whoever comes off the bench.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Next, let's do MIP. Let's do most improved player. Do you want me to go first or you want to go?
I mean, you're going to pick J-Dub, aren't you?
I'm not, actually.
Really?
I'm not.
Surprising.
Therefore, you can pick him, which you should, because he's great and will be one of the top.
All right. You know what? I'm going to break the mold here, and you're going to hate this. I'm going Victor Wembanyama.
I absolutely do hate it. It's awful.
I think Wemby has the hype, and with a more competent team around him, I think we could see his stats absolutely skyrocket, even though he's a second-year player. And I know you can't stand second-year players winning most improved player.
No, I don't hate second-year players winning it. I hate Victor Wembanyama, the greatest prospect of all time, winning most improved player. What would we be doing to that award?
What did he average last year? How many points did he average last year?
21 points.
You're telling me if he averages like 27 to 30 points, you don't think he can win?
Oh, I mean, he could, but he shouldn't.
He averages like 30, 10, and 4.
Okay, first of all, he's not averaging 30. That's crazy. Okay. I think if I had to predict, he's going to average right around 25, like 12 and 4 blocks, something crazy like that.
I'm going Victor Wembanyama, most improved player.
Okay, Ryan hates everything that basketball is about. Yep. I'm going to go with Jalen Johnson. He was my pick. No DeJounte Murray now, more opportunity. Last year, he averaged, I think, around 16. I could see him jumping into the low 20s, around like a 21, playing better defense. And, yeah, just being featured more on the Hawks team that I think will be right around that 9 seed. So I'll give you Jalen Johnson. And then my fun pick, I'm going to go Jalen Williams. I feel like his odds are too low. I could see him jumping into the mid-20s in points per game, continuing to be great defensively, and really solidifying himself as an all-star in the Western Conference. So, yeah.
My fun pick is Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah, that's one of the better odds picks. And It would be cool to see him like break out, but yeah. I thought you were going to go, honestly, when you said hate it, I thought you were going to go Josh Giddey. I feel like they're going to steal money. I think they're going to end up taking a lot of people's money on the Josh Giddey MIP bets. I just don't see a world where he gets enough opportunity to really raise the numbers all that much. Like I know he's not with like the Thunder anymore where they had Shea and J-Dub and Chet, but they've got Levine, they've got Vucevic, they've got Kobe White, they've got Ayo Dosunmu, they've got Patrick. Like there's still not going to be that much opportunity for him to like thrive like that. And the Bulls are going to be bad. MIP players can win on bad teams, but that player has to be like really good as well. Yeah. I just don't think it's going to be enough. Okay, next let's do. What do we want?
Wait, can I throw another? I want to throw another one out there. Emmanuel quickly.
I like that. I like him and RJ.
Throw that out there.
Next up is let's do Coach of the Year. Let's do Coach of the Year next.
All right, you go first.
I went Joe Mazzulla.
Pull up my teams again. I need to look at them. Yeah, look at our standings.
Okay. Oh yeah, because you got to. Oh, this is the full screen layout. Let me put our faces back there. There we go. This is the layout we like.
You got Mazzulla. I think there's some voter fatigue with him. People aren't going to vote for him for take a team getting first seed again. That's coming off the finals. I mean that's fair. My thing is, I think with the Porzingis injury, they're still going to basically replicate their same success, and people are going to be like, "Oh, Porzingis missed a bunch of time." And I feel like now after he won the finals, they recognize that he's a good coach. One guy who I do like the idea of that I didn't have winning it because I thought the Sixers would be more like a 4 seed is Nick Nurse. I like Nick Nurse too. I was thinking about that as a bias pick.
I think he's a really good coach, and I could see him winning that. If the Lakers jump up a lot, I could see JJ Redick getting consideration.
I was gonna have Redick up there.
Budenholzer for the Suns is interesting, but they do have a lot of talent. Honestly, Michael Malone too for the Nuggets. I thought about if they maintain a top 2 to 3 seed, despite a lot of people being down on them, I could see them getting it. If the Grizzlies are back, Taylor Jenkins. It feels like there's a lot of options. Also, like Rick Carlisle, if the Pacers jump a lot, if the Magic are once again one of the higher seeds, I think Jamal Mosley could get some.
I'm going Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse? Okay. I think that's a fine pick.
Who's my pick? Who's your pick?
Joe Mazzulla.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. They won't give it to Mark Daigneault again with the Thunder being the 1 seed. And everybody.
That's why I felt about Mazzulla. I don't think they would give it to the repeating NBA champs being the 1 seed again.
Yeah, that's fair.
Jason Kidd's interesting for me too, just because they haven't had the regular season success. Like they haven't been like the top seed before. So if the Mavericks kind of cruise through the regular season, I could see a world where Jason Kidd gets it too.
I could see it too. Okay. Next up, let's do. We only have a few left. Clutch Player of the Year.
Clutch Player of the Year. Oh,
this is a hard one to pick. I went Luka. I feel like Luka has crazy like highlight game winners. I think they'll be winning a lot of games and they'll be in a good number of close ones. Yeah, give me Luka. He just kind of has the.
I don't even know who won last year. Shea, right?
No, Steph. Shea was a finalist, but Steph won it.
Oh, okay.
It was De'Aaron Fox year 1, then Steph last year. We don't even know if like there's real voter fatigue for that or anything. It's one we don't really understand quite yet. Like
it's like a very qualitative award, which I think is kind of funny.
Yeah, Clutch Player is kind of like who hit the sickest game winners.
I mean, DeMar DeRozan should be up there. Then I swear he has so many good ones every year.
He was up there. Yeah, he was.
I'm debating if I want to make my real pick also a fun pick.
If you want to hear the odds,
pull the teams back up again.
Yeah, the odds on favorites. I'll go to read them off for the viewers because I feel like people are also confused on like who could win it. Steph, Luka, Shea, Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Damian Lillard, Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell, De'Aaron Fox, DeMar DeRozan are some of the top names.
And you picked Luka.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the East.
Over to the East. It's so hard to predict this.
I'm going Donovan Mitchell.
Okay, I like the Donovan Mitchell pick.
You ready for my fun pick?
Mm-hmm.
It goes against everything that everyone makes fun of him for. I'm going Paul George.
No OT tonight.
And also another one I'm gonna throw out there, just because I think he had some really clutch playoff moments, and I think he's just gonna get more chances, is Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, I mean I could see how those.
I'm throwing George and Maxey out there.
My fun one's Shea because
I like Shea too.
My only thing is I feel like the Thunder are going to have a good number of games where they're just winning by a lot, and it's like how much is Shea going to be out there?
If Paul George wins Clutch Player of the Year, I don't know what I'll do, but I just think
I'll give you $20 if he wins it.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
I'll also give you $20 if he wins it.
We'll trade $20 if Paul George wins Clutch Player of the Year.
All right, what's the next one?
Executive of the Year. I have Sam Presti. I feel like the Thunder's moves are going to be big. The Knicks executive.
Daryl Morey.
Yeah, Daryl Morey is a good one. Leon Rose for the Knicks. Nico Harris.
I'm going to go Morey or Rose.
Okay. Yeah. We don't need to talk too much about that one. It's just basically whose moves are the most effective.
I think whoever's better between the Sixers or Knicks is going to get it, in my opinion, because they had the two of the most like robust off seasons.
That's fair. Like the Thunder already were the
no
ones.
No offense to the Thunder, but they were already a 1 seed, and they just added 2 role players, which do make them better. Don't get me wrong, but they didn't make the big splash like they did. So now, if the Thunder actually use their assets and go ham and get someone crazy at the trade deadline, I might change this answer.
What if the Thunder win 68 games? How do you feel?
68 games?
Mm-hmm.
That's not the executive's fault, though. All they did was add.
Well, I'm saying, what if like those 2 moves, then they are suddenly winning?
Well, then we'll have to do their win shares and see how many game wins they added to the total.
All right. Defensive Player of the Year is next.
Wembanyama, sorry, you can pick someone else.
Yeah, it's probably Wemby. They've already read. You know what's crazy? The award. Have you seen the odds for Wemby to win it?
It's got to be like -500 or something crazy.
The fact that it is minus, but the fact that it is like negative odds is ridiculous. -170 for an award.
That's pretty nuts.
It's him at -170, Chet at +1200, Rudy at +1400, Bam at +1400, then Mobley, AD, Jaren Jackson, Giannis, OG, and Caruso are the next ones. Give me Chet Holmgren. Give me Chet Holmgren. If you're going to pick Wemby, I think the Thunder are going to be the best defense in the NBA. Chet's the anchor of that. Give me Chet.
My non-Wemby pick is going to be Anthony Davis.
My non-Wemby pick, I want to go Rudy Gobert, but there's no way they give it to him. Giannis. Give me Giannis.
Okay, I like it. We go MVP?
MVP.
I know you're going Shea. I'm going Luka. All right, that's the end of the episode.
I am going Shea. Again, I think the Thunder get the 1 seed decently comfortably. Shea's going to put up like 30. I think he puts up like 31, 32-ish points per game.
I think Luka has one of his nuts years, but the Mavericks actually finally won a bunch of games, so he gets the award.
I think we'll have nut stats, but I do think there's a world where Luka is taking a little bit. Like, I think Shea could drop a little bit in stats, but I don't. The way I'm looking at the Thunder's construction, I don't think that's going to happen. I will say this is one of my bold predictions in a video I made. Luka, I could see him averaging a triple-double this season because I think it was close last year. His exact numbers for anybody wondering, which are ridiculous. 34 points, 9.2 rebounds, 9.8 assists. So he was 0.8 rebounds off, 0.2 assists off. I think that assist is going to get above 10 this season because they're going to really try to get Klay Thompson involved a lot. Yeah. They want him to get comfortable by the time the playoffs roll around. They want him to be successful here. So I think they kick it out to him a lot, and just having that release valve is big. Plus, if Kyrie's healthy for more of the year, Luka's not going to be scoring as much. So I think Luka's numbers go down a little bit. I think Shea's basically stay pretty much the same in the Thunder with a higher seed. So that's my reasoning. I do think those are the 2 top players for the award. One guy who I think is interesting is Giannis. If the Bucks bounce back and are a lot better this season, I could see him winning it. Who's a fun pick for you, though? Who's a fun pick?
Joel Embiid, because he doesn't actually get hurt, and maybe he qualifies.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think he's.
The thing is, you were talking about the back-to-back stuff, but even if he doesn't play a lot of back-to-back games, the NBA has really gotten decreased the amount of back-to-backs. I feel like.
I believe the Sixers have 16 back-to-back games, so that means you'd say about 8 of those.
So he'll play 74. And I'm going to put it out here. I don't think he sits every back-to-back. I really don't think he does.
Who's the sneaky MVP pick I could go with?
Here, I'll do a sneaky one. I think if Embiid, hear me out. If the Sixers are good and Embiid plays enough games, I actually think he's my pick. But I don't think it's going to happen, so Luka's is my pick.
Okay.
My fun pick. Let me look. Pull up the teams again. Let me look. Let's see what high seeds we pick.
Yeah, with our seeding, it makes it tough because I was going to say Anthony Edwards. If the Timberwolves are again at one of the top 3 seeds.
If the Wolves are good, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think Ant is an interesting one. If the Grizzlies would bounce back, Ja, maybe. Brunson, maybe.
But can I go real crazy?
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Gold medal LeBron. Age 40 or whatever he is.
That would be sick.
That's my fun pick, LeBron. The Lakers just have a really good regular season, and LeBron, averages a good, not an insane stat line, but just a really good one, and everyone jumps on the narrative that the Lakers.
Do you think they would give it to him over AD though?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, mine. I mean, I guess maybe I should go with something crazier if you're picking LeBron.
Yeah, go crazy. Don't pick a Pelican because you hate them.
Not picking Pelican. Zion MVP would be crazy.
Zaki.
Could be Zach.
He's God's gift to basketball.
I said you don't doubt.
I'm just totally trolling, by the way. I don't think Zach Edey's bad. I just think it's hilarious how quickly the script flipped on him.
I was always an Edey believer. There are too many Edey haters.
I'm just saying there are so many. Everyone hated the Grizzlies pick, and now everyone's slobbing on it. So I just think it's hilarious.
Two fun ones: Tyrese Haliburton, Paolo Banchero. One of those teams jumps up as like a top 3 seed.
Yeah,
interesting. But okay, those are all the awards. That's everything. Any random bold predictions you want to throw out there for the season?
All right, pull the standings out.
I just put them away.
One more. All right, this is what out of the teams we picked 12 to 15 in each conference. Which team could you see making a playoff spot?
Clippers, I guess, out west if Kawhi gets back.
All right, I'm going Spurs and Detroit.
East 12 through 15, you said?
Yeah, 12 through 15.
You hate my Hornets.
You should put them lower.
Yeah, Pistons. I would say Pistons, most likely. No way Chicago does. No way Washington or Brooklyn do.
All right. Biggest player traded away in each conference.
Brandon Ingram in the West.
Okay. Mine's Michael Porter Jr.
Okay. They did just pay Aaron Gordon. Eastern Conference, biggest player traded away. None of these East teams really strike me as a team that's going to...
Darius Garland.
Trae Young. Or Jimothy Butler.
Ooh, Jimothy Butler. Where's Jimothy Butler going?
Houston.
That's kind of... Yo, hear me out. Jimmy Butler to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Not a chance, but would be crazy.
Not chance?
Not a chance.
I like it.
Nah, Jimmy doesn't fit.
Why not?
He just doesn't.
I think him next to J-Dub and Shea, I think would be really good.
The question, like, they're going to ask for a lot. I don't think. I mean,
you
we can trade them.
every fucking pick in existence.
We do have a lot of picks, but I think they want. The fact that they still have Bam and they've got Tyler, they're going to want tangible players. They're going to ask us for like a Chet or a J-Dub. It's not going to happen.
If Jimmy Butler is getting traded, they are hitting they're just white flagging. They're not looking to put players around Hero or.
That's what Pat Riley does. Pat Riley wants to remain competitive. I don't think he.
Pat Riley's about to die. He needs to reset the. He needs to reset the team.
Him or Mike Conley, who turns to dust first.
Mike Conley, Pat Riley.
Yeah, the Pat Riley, Mike Conley, who turns to dust competition.
I can't wait till our friend Matt watches this and he just hears me say Pat Riley's about to die.
Yeah, shout out to Matt, Goat Heat fan. I'm trying to think of random other prediction things I could throw out there.
Well, all right. There's always big drama in basketball.
Predict a storyline in each conference.
Yeah, we gotta make up a storyline in each conference.
I was gonna say the Brandon Ingram is unhappy with the contract thing and stuff, but that's I already talked about.
Jalen Green gets into a fight with someone on the team.
That's such a random thing to throw out there.
I had to stick with my Jalen Green's a diva. He just got paid and he's like, "This is my team."
It becomes well known that Julius Randle is unhappy in Minnesota.
Ooh, okay, all right. My other thing would be my other one because the Jalen Green one's kind of funny. Something about Bradley Beal and the Suns.
Bradley Beal gets benched, doesn't like it, and there's drama.
All right.
Eastern Conference, Giannis trade rumors begin to circulate. There's no indication they're going to trade him.
Yeah.
But going into the second half of the season, it starts to become like, could this team move Giannis? Is that actually a possibility this summer?
Okay. Man, I want to think of something for Boston bad. Joe Mazzulla pulls an Ime Udoka. No, I'm just kidding.
Peyton Pritchard fights Jaylen Brown. I don't know.
Peyton Pritchard outed as terrible human. No, I'm just kidding. We like Pritchard. Oh, man.
Who's your 6 man of the year pick?
I know. I so want something bad to happen. Something with Boston.
Ryan just hates the Celtics and wants drama.
It's almost like they're too perfect. It's like you're dating someone. It's like, all right, there's got to be something wrong with them. They can't win the finals and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who could have a scandal?
It doesn't have to be a scandal. It could just be someone gets benched or someone's unhappy with their role. Ryan's trying to create the next breakthrough scandal in the NBA.
Something with Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers and Giannis.
Doc Rivers gets caught liking obscene images on Twitter again.
That would be impressive with the fact you can't see likes anymore. Okay.
Somebody hacks into Doc Rivers' bookmarks.
Who scores the most points in a game this season? How many is it?
Most in the we'll do each conference again. This is a little bit easier for me. Most in the game. What was it last year? Did Embiid scored a lot in the East?
Embiid scored 70 on the dot. Luka had 73 at West. Those are the most in each conference.
I'm going Luka again for the West.
I think I would also go Luka.
Yeah. And then for the East, there's going to be a game where Paul George doesn't play and Embiid's going to get the most again.
Those are my two picks. I think Luka has another 60-something point game. I'll
do a fun one after you go.
I made this bold prediction. I think Embiid scores 80 in a game this season.
Dude, sign me up.
I think he has a game where people aren't playing and he just is going crazy and he's getting 1 billion free throws and he scores like 80.
All right, my more fun pick is Donovan Mitchell in the East.
Mm-hmm.
And then out West, let me see it. Steph Curry, because the Warriors don't have a lot of support, and so he just takes like a billion shots.
West, I'm gonna other guy. I want to say Shea, but Shea just doesn't shoot enough shots. He just doesn't. He just
he hasn't scored 50, right?
No, I think it's 45. I believe it's Shea's career high. 44. Sorry. Who's someone in the West that could go crazy? Wemby could have like a 60-point game.
All right, I like that.
Just catching 1 billion lobs.
Chris Paul gets 25 assists.
Yeah.
They played Chris
Paul breaks the Scott Skiles record of 30 assists in a game.
All right, what is the most assists Chris Paul has in a game this year? Have they announced him as a starter, by the way?
He's 100% going to start, but I don't know if they've officially announced it. But
I say Chris Paul has a 20 assist game.
I was going to say 18.
I'm gonna go 20.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of it.
Trying to think, can we do one more? First coach to get fired.
Ooh. I was actually thinking about this. I didn't know if there was that many that I could see getting fired. Give me Willie Green from the Pelicans.
That was gonna be my pick too if they start off bad.
In the West. There's a coach in the East that gets fired. I don't know, man. I don't feel like there's that many coaches that are going to get.
Billy Donovan.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel good about any like the East coaches getting fired. Because like Brooklyn just got a new coach. Washington is the first year with their coach. Like
Eric Spoelstra, see you later, buddy.
You wish. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any.
Here's my pick. Quinn Snyder.
Okay. I'll say Quinn Snyder too, but it's like a mutual parting of ways. He's like, this is not fun.
The Hawks are in the 13th seat like I predicted, and you just rudely put them at the 9, and Quinn Snyder, he's out.
Okay.
The Hawks start off 4-15, and Quinn Snyder is gone.
All right. I'll let you have that.
Yep.
With that being said, though, I think that's all we got right now for our season prediction show. We appreciate y'all tuning in as always. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Hit the notification bell. Rate 5 stars, download whatever you're doing over there on Spotify, and comment down below some of your season predictions so we can come back to this.
Bold one. Give us a spicy one.
Yeah, give us some spicy takes.
I'll comment how spicy it is from 1 to 10. Your goal is to try to get a 10 spicy, but it has to be legit. You can't just say like LeBron gets benched and doesn't play after game 1. You know what I mean? Like you can't be something stupid like that.
Yeah, you have to give a hot take that is like actually feasible.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll like partway through the season react to some of the ones that we like the best or anything like that. Or maybe after like the first week of the season, we'll just evaluate. Yeah, we'll find something like that.
Now, actually, if you leave a spicy take, we'll go over it after the first week of the season. That'll be how we start the episode.
Okay. Yeah, we appreciate y'all tuning in as always. Good luck to your favorite teams this season. And yeah, I'll see you at the Thunder Championship Parade.
What?
I'll see you at the Thunder Championship Parade.
What?
I'm done with this. If you made it to the end, comment.
We will not be at the Thunder Parade.
Don't comment that. Comment anything else if you made it to the
comment
end.
anything else down below.
I need to stop this. Ryan's making me lose my mind. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all later.
I've been up to 6 in the morning. I'm tired.
Okay, then we need to get you to bed, old man. And Geezer, Ryan in the Turn to Dust challenge.
Say who's more likely to turn to dust in the comments below? Ryan, Pat Riley, or Mike Conley?
Sure, do that. Bye.